I'm back.
And we are live Wednesday night with those guys. And Wednesday night with those guys is sponsored by
Those
guys.
guys.
What's up, Global Drone? What's up, show?
Good
Coast
evening,
to Coast
everyone.
Bill was here earlier. How are you, Global?
That's good.
You know how it is on Wednesdays for me. So
yeah, I know you gotta, running.
Well, no. See, the deal was my boss promised me. I told him I still do shows on Wednesday.
Right.
Like, oh, you still do that? I'm like, yeah. I never stop. So he's like, well, I can promise you, I can tell you that you'll be home by 4:00 or before.
Okay.
So if the show starts at 5, how come I'm getting home 4:35, 1:45? And this is including him leaving me in town so I could stop and get beer for later on. And on Wednesdays I get dinner also.
Oh.
So anyway, to hell with it. I'm
time.
glad you're here for the show, Global. What were you saying?
I guess he doesn't care about your time as much.
No, he doesn't. But I'm thinking after the new year, it depends on his Christmas bonus. I just got your alert now, but it depends on his Christmas bonus. But I'm thinking of letting him know I don't need the 2 days a week. It was really, no 2 days a week was helping me build drones. I have a whole fleet now. Dave Innes, how are you? I have a whole fleet.
David.
So if I need to buy parts, which by the way, I have to put money in the bank in the morning.
Well, yeah, man. I just been here, doing my thing. I did get out a little bit, but I didn't get to fly, mainly. Like I said, it's a lot for me right now to be able to carry the drone around. I still can't really walk.
The flyby guys, what's up? How are you? Welcome to Wednesday nights with those guys.
Good evening. Welcome. So I haven't been out much, but I've gotten around, like I told you, I've been working on my little project that I'm working on. And I've been making a few phone calls and doing a few things and listening to a few things and here and there and getting some information on some stories and stuff like that. But I'm working on my little project that I'm working on with Justin.
Not a little project.
Well, it's not a little project, but it came to mind right after Justin built this machine. And I started, it's like Paul knows, once you buy one, you need another one, and it's like more, and it's like there's more, and then something else comes. It's like, hey, what's this one over there?
You're 100% right, because I have a 7-inch drone here, right? You would think I don't need any more 7-inch drones, right? You would really think that, right? Because I have a 6-inch drone, but I built a second 6-inch. So now I have everything I need to build another 7-inch drone. Like I need another 7-inch drone, but I want another one.
Well,
see, this one I selected all the parts and everything for. Okay, and I got someone put it together for me. Yes, welcome for Flyby guys.
Is that the one that Hadley put together for you?
No.
That's where the addiction started, Paul.
This is a Hadley.
But the one that Hadley put together.
This is a Hadley here.
Yeah.
Everything else. And one of Hadley's is under construction.
He dips his drones in addiction fluid, so when you get it, you catch the fever.
Well, see, you know what it is? When I got into it, my eyes weren't good enough, and I didn't know that you can buy stuff like this. I did know, but I didn't know how useful it was.
How good they were, yeah.
Right. So once I started practicing and doing the soldering work myself, now I built this drone in a week. I know other guys, it takes 2 hours, but it took me a week because I just psyched myself up to go through every part. But it flies like a beast. So now that I built it from screw to wire, from beginning to end, now I want to build a 7-inch like that.
Okay.
Hey, Herman, I'm waiting for him to get up to the giant ones, the big ones.
Oh, no, I'm not going to X class. We're not going to X class.
Can't you just see him walking down the street with an X class strapped on his back? He looks like one of those ninja movies,
Right,
Well,
with the big
well, Paul,
Yeah,
it's when he.
cross with the motors and props, right behind
Well,
it.
I don't think it's out of hand until he's doing like the side slit, the side step past it to get into the bed.
Well, see, the hard part is with what I have on my backpack now. With
Hey,
two,
drone shots was good, man.
I have to turn sideways to get out the door.
Ooh. Yeah, go ahead.
I have to turn sideways to get out the door now. So imagine with an X class.
I can see it. Can't you, Herman? It's coming.
I'd have to pass it out the window and then walk around
Well,
and pick it
he
up.
had the 3DR Solo backpack. That's just about.
Yeah, that's like a Ninja
About the
Turtle
same.
shell.
Yeah.
You know what? You could actually put a small kid in that backpack if you took the foam out.
Yes, you could. Yes, you could. So how's everybody in the chat? What's going on? I've never seen you here to fly by, guys, but we appreciate you for coming in. We always appreciate the
Welcome.
support. What's up, Classic?
Class,
How are you? Drone shots.
but I was saying to you before, Lawrence, on this thing here, when Justin built this machine and I started doing the research and stuff like that, it works fine for what I'm doing,
Right.
Yeah, it works cool, but
You've outgrown it.
no, I wouldn't say I outgrown it. I've seen other things and I want to do other things.
So you've outgrown it.
No,
It's like you learn how to drive. You learn how to drive and you get that first car. And then there's that car that you have to buy yourself,
well,
That's
it works great for
everybody
what we're doing. You understand? As far as, doing videos, it does 4K with no problem. It handles 4K lovely. But I was looking at another graphics card, and this other graphics card seems to, what the guy say it was for the person who's building a workstation who wants a graphics card that he doesn't need just to say that he has it.
Okay.
Because it does everything.
Okay. All right.
Yeah,
That's
it's
impressive.
$2,000 for this graphics card, though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's it. Better
So-
do every damn thing I wanted for
So the
2G.
project's kind of on hold right now.
The flyby guys are based in Helsinki, Finland, he says.
Okay. Well, that's what's up. We're getting our fan base. What's up, Michael Bainey? We're
Hey,
getting
Roger,
a lot of
what's up,
people
bro?
from overseas.
Roger.
And we appreciate that because we're trying to reach the overseas.
We're worldwide now.
Yeah.
We
have South Africa, we have Ireland. Where is he from, Paul? He said
It said in the chat.
Finland. He's from Finland.
Finland.
We have people in Australia. Well, let's see, Australia,
He's from
Ireland.
Helsinki.
Yeah,
Finland.
Helsinki, Finland.
South Africa. A lot of in the
Australia.
UK. Yeah, the UK.
Yeah, you got Australia, you got London.
In the islands, down in the islands, in the Bahamas, we have.
Okay.
It's okay. That's what's up. We appreciate it, and I hope you guys come
Thank you.
back. We do drone news. If you don't know the format, we do drone news, drone tech, stuff like that.
I'm talking
You don't
little
have to-
nonsense here and there.
We don't have the fancy buttons, where you press for applause. We do our own sound effects and stuff. So, at least yet, we're working on it.
Yeah.
We are working on it. What's up, Roger? Okay, so now, what's the first story of the day?
So
I mean,
anyway,
It's still early.
it is, but there was a flyer. Well, I saw a thing on it was on Facebook, a flyer that was in a park in what is this here? Bear Creek Nature Center and Fountain Creek Nature Center in Colorado.
Yes.
A sign that says that the birds aren't real.
Yes. When you
And
said
there was
the
a-
story, I was like, I knew it. I knew that eagle up there wasn't real.
And there was like some little funny, comments that people had left on the post that was on Facebook. But they were saying that I guess that it came from some of the people I guess that work for the park, said that like the birds of prey that they have at the park that they're used for surveillance,
Yes.
and the ducks are used to test water quality. Funny.
Right. Right. Now this place, it's Mountain Creek Nature Center.
Yeah,
I'd have to Google where exactly. Oh, Bear Creek Nature Center and Fountain Creek Nature
Yeah.
Center.
as I said, Bear
Oh,
Creek. And but what was funny is that if you look at some of the comments in there, people said that they have seen them in other places.
I could believe it. Well, what this park is doing, everyone, is if you see an eagle or a hawk or an owl, it may not be an actual eagle, hawk, or owl. It may be a spy bird
Well, if I see an owl, I'm taking off.
yeah, because owls shouldn't be out at night. I mean during the day. But anyway, they're using birds. It says right here, bird of prey models derive power from solar panels in their feathers, but
Mhm.
small models run on rechargeable lithium ion batteries that we plug in overnight. If you get to a nature center early, you may see us release these powered up birds. Um, the towhees at Bear Creek are still running on AAA batteries for some reason. But the fact that they're actually using birds of prey to do surveillance in the parks, who thinks about it? Because you look up, like we fly drones,
Uh-huh.
right, Herman? And we
Right.
see red-tailed hawks circling, and we're like, yo, hawk. Now,
I'll tell you, sometimes those hawks, they don't even worry about your bird.
no, they don't. They don't. They don't. But I thought it was a good story also. The fact that they're actually using birds of prey. And you said that the ducks
How could
were
be?
taking
Yeah,
water
for water
samples.
samples.
So you may see a group of ducks, and some of them may be real, and some of
Mhm.
them may not be, just hanging out with a group of ducks.
Now,
And
you
then
know what?
deep in the water for that blue algae.
Uh-huh.
They could probably be doing samples like that.
Now, you know what was funny? One of the guys that left a comment
What's up, Tom?
on that
What
article.
happened?
Hey, how are you? I thought you were talking about my bird of prey.
Well,
Yeah.
one of the guys that left a comment, he said, "Have you ever seen baby pigeons?"
Yeah, yeah.
He said, "You've never seen baby pigeons on the street."
No, you don't see baby pigeons. There's
Nope.
a reason
I've
for
only
that.
seen them in nest. Only in nest.
Yeah, those nests are pretty well hidden because
You don't see baby pigeons.
You
But it
know
was,
So,
just, it was just a little joke
Yes,
story,
yes.
you know?
In Bellevue,
well, you know what? I was in
Bellevue Hospital.
Metrotech Commons,
Mm-hmm.
right by now it's NYU Polytech. Up in the tree was a red hawk,
Mm-hmm.
and people during lunchtime just walking by, they started to notice him up in the tree.
Mm-hmm.
Well, he swooped down and he grabbed a pigeon right in the commons,
Right.
brought him right up to the branch, but it was a low branch,
Uh-huh.
and just started plucking them in front of like 50
You
or
know,
60 people
That
that
happened
were out
over
for
here.
lunch.
That happened. Remember?
That happened over here over the McDonald's
Yes.
on Flatbush.
Oh, it was over by you. It
Yeah.
happened.
The bird was just up there. People were grossed out. He was just munching away.
Just
Yeah, supposedly the hawk just swooped down and grabbed the pigeon, and instead of flying away with him, landed over on a ledge,
Yeah.
maybe 1 story high, and just started ripping at the pigeon right there on the spot.
You like your
That
meat
story.
warm, so does he. Yeah, and you know what? There weren't
But-
a lot of pigeons in Metrotech Commons.
You know
for a
where I
while.
saw? You know where I saw baby pigeons? Was where the old Bellevue building is?
Yeah.
Okay, next to the Bellevue Hospital, they have the.
I
that
know the
building-
old building. Yeah,
that
very
old
well.
Building is a shelter. It's a men's shelter.
Now, yeah.
I used to volunteer there to help serve lunches.
Mhm.
And in the air conditioning units, they had a big box ones, like 10,000, whatever it is, the big bulky ones that
Yeah.
fill out the whole window. Well, the
Mhm.
pigeons have made their homes there. And in the winter, they hunker in the corners. And the guy was taking out an AC unit, and he was showing me how they had a nest, and there were 2 birds. He said most of them just fall out the nest to their death. It was like, wow, that's pretty cool.
Okay, well, they actually had some living in the ceiling at Murray Hill Post Office.
Oh, get out.
Yeah, we found them on the renovation of the post office.
Well,
That's not funny.
isn't the baby pigeons what the other guy on the other channel says they use primarily for pigeon jerky?
Uh,
That's actually
pigeons are unique. Okay,
that's actually
We'll
not
put
a
it that way.
thing.
yeah, that's not a thing.
Yeah.
Not a thing.
What's up, Eddie Nunez? How are you?
Eddie, what's
Hey,
happening?
So, Eddie, when you gonna come out here? I know you know how to fly FPV. What's up? When you gonna come out to my side of the world and fly? That's all I'm gonna say. I see you going other places. I'm not gonna say nothing though. I'm just messing with you, man. You need to get out here. Serious. I got a few spots. They're untouched spots.
Yeah, Eddie's doing good, man. I've been watching some of his stuff.
Oh yeah, Eddie gets out there. I mean,
Yeah, but
him
Eddie's
and- him and
Eddie's
Courtney
It's actually
Darlington.
his travel
Also,
video.
yeah, Eddie's like my crack dealer, vice versa. We he starts looking at FPV. All he keeps sending me that was FPV ads. So he's my crack dealer. He's gonna get me. He's gonna get me flying FPV. It's gonna
I
happen.
like his travel.
well, I'm telling you,
video.
if DJI comes out with that FPV bird that has the GPS, then you will. Trust
Who
me.
knows?
Sunday. He's looking at Sunday. Beach 32. What are you up to? He's got his 7-inch.
They seem to be
Dude,
driving.
I'm Irish.
Oh,
I'm
you wanna
Irish,
do
so
some
I
cruising?
can't come
I
out
would
with the
love to.
7-inch.
I
Okay.
got a great spot. If you're not afraid to fly over the water, dude, I got a great spot for us to fly. That sounds good on a Sunday because with this hurricane that's supposed to hit us from tonight going into tomorrow,
Yeah, it's gonna wash out the next 2 days.
tomorrow's a washout, and I honestly believe Friday probably will be also. But Saturday and Sunday are supposed to be okay. But if you want to come out here to 32nd, we don't have to go to 32nd. No, 32nd is where we usually fly from. I'll take you to a spot, a good spot.
Okay.
Yeah, definitely. Hey, what's up, Ed? Love my drones. But anyway,
Ed,
getting back to that story
On which one?
with the predatory
The bird.
birds and the fake ducks and stuff. In Manhattan, the
Mhm.
real hawks would take it out.
Well, probably not. They'll realize that it isn't anything because
Well, see, their eyes are better. So if they can see a rabbit run under a bush from half a mile up, he can look at that bird and say, "Yo, that's not real."
Dude, it was pretty funny because Eddie and I were flying up by Hawk's Nest.
Mhm.
And I should say Eddie was flying by Hawk's Nest because I was watching two rather mature bald eagles sitting on a tree limb.
Okay.
And the second that Eddie launched, they peeled their heads around and kept an eagle eye, so to speak,
They were all
on that
watching.
drone. But they were there to fish. They didn't, they weren't near their nest,
Mhm.
so they let Eddie be. But yeah, that was pretty cool up there. That was
Well,
a nice
Eddie
spot.
should put on the back of that drone a tail that goes like this,
Yeah, that'll be very productive. Yeah, that'll be very productive. Like I said, just
great video.
Just like when you go to the beach, if you really want to, Lawrence, if you really want to see if you have those mad skills, okay,
Uh-oh.
just rub a little bit of tuna oil on your drone
No,
and see
I'm good.
how
I'm good.
see how you can deke out those seagulls, man.
I'm good.
See what I try to tell you, Lawrence? Is they can smell. They know.
Oh yeah.
They
No,
know what you
yeah.
are and what you're
listen.
not.
I've seen them
Listen,
take
I
whole
can smell.
sandwiches. I've seen them. Look, guys, if you've
I've
never
seen them
seen a
snatch
New
hot
York
dogs out of
seagull,
people's hands.
oh, freaking full hoagie
JSP.
sandwiches, man, and not look back.
Mm-mm. But
What's up,
yeah.
Court?
So you guys gonna do the FPV thing?
Eventually, look, DJI's got to come out with one that is already tuned, ready to fly, and
Mhm.
comes home if you need it to. Okay,
Listen,
and then
the
I'm in.
fact-
I'm in like Flint at that
I
point.
agree, Tom, because the fact that they were talking about FPV, which we knew they were going to do because they are already selling their parts to go inside FPV birds. So
Right.
it was a matter of time before
They
they
did
came out
themselves.
with their own bird themselves. Now, the fact that they mentioned not only will it be able to fly in full acro, but it has GPS.
Mhm.
GPS to me means, okay, when I flick that switch, if I'm upside down, sideways, it does looking at the sky, it should level off turn around,
And the world should
Hopefully.
look sunny again. Yes,
and
exactly.
come home.
Hopefully.
Hopefully.
Well, look, and I'm not going to say it's going to be cheap. That
Seagulls,
sounds pretty
pigeons of the
feature.
seas.
That sounds pretty feature rich. So that's worth a dime or two. But look, I'm a photographer. I'm looking for a camera drone.
I might
Okay.
help you with your power loop.
I just want to come over those ridge lines like a madman. That's
Yeah,
all.
Eddie.
With the
Once you
camera
come out of-
blazing.
Well,
once
see,
you get
that's
into that
true. You
top
see
of the
what
loop,
Eddie,
hit it.
you
Hit
see
that
what
shit.
Eddie put? He says they do have
It's
those
7-inch.
already. Look at iFlight,
Yeah.
ready to fly. This one
Yeah.
right here
Yeah,
is
yeah.
a 4-inch bird. Okay, check it out. Flywoo LR4. Look it up. Flywoo LR4 comes with GPS,
Mhm.
and this battery right here, it flies on regular lipos. This
It
regular
works.
lipo right here is a 1500. I can get 17, anywhere from 15 to 17 minutes. With this Lion battery and that same bird, 30 minutes.
Okay, does it work?
Yes, yes.
Hey,
yes.
Herman, Herman, are
But
you
now
And
sold?
that's
GPS rescue.
Herman, are you sold yet, Herman?
And
No.
she
Well-
comes straight home.
Okay.
well. Listen. I think actually that's a very good point you made there. I don't think when we're talking about a DJI ready to fly, looking for a couple of different audience verticals there, it's gotta be able to fly at least 20 minutes. Okay.
Right.
Because a photographer is not into, hey, I got 4 to 7 minutes to figure out how I'm going to frame that shot. No, sorry.
Yeah.
Okay. That to me is
What's
too much
up, aerial
overhead.
landscape?
Too much overhead. Okay.
You're right.
Now I know there's a lot of cinematic stuff out there. Yeah, I love my drones. I got it. I'm looking for something to be packaged right up, nice and sweet. Maybe even works with my smart controller. Who knows? That I can plug a set of goggles into my smart controller.
That
But
would be great.
That would be
that
the way to go.
that would be my way to go because it actually reduces my overhead and what I got to carry with me.
Mhm.
You know what? I was wondering if that's not where the hell they were going with the smart controller.
With the smart controller, that's
yeah,
what I
but
thought.
because I see that they're upgrading and doing different things here and there with it, and
Well, now that a particular drone has OcuSync 2
yeah,
on
but
it,
that kind of brings us right into the next story.
Yeah,
With,
go for it.
This
Into
I'm
the
nothing
next
about
segment.
segues.
DJI Mini 2. There's been a couple of YouTube videos out there by this guy who went into Best Buy.
Our
Who? What?
his name is Our Beatific World.
Okay. Well, anyway,
Yeah.
he went into Best Buy, and apparently, from looking at what happened, he was searching around Best Buy for some stuff on sale,
Hey, Roger.
and ran into this the Mini, the Mini 2,
That nobody knew was
and
Yeah, no, but that was great. Come on, you
I
know.
the video was nice.
To me, that's
I liked
real.
it.
To me, that's as real
You
as
know,
you get
he
because
went
that is
in-
Best Buy.
And purchased this, and then his next video was him
opening
at
it.
home doing an unboxing.
Right.
Yeah,
Apparently, it's not ready to go because it can't fly because it's not up on the app
couple
and it's
weeks out.
ready to go.
Yeah.
Yeah, a couple
So-
weeks out of announcement.
I kind of was doing a little bit of snooping around myself, and it seemed to be the similar situation. What happened is
Manual.
I remember when
It happened here in New York.
when the Pocket came out, I told Lawrence I wanted to get it.
Yes.
And I was on my way home from practice, and Lawrence called me and he said, Twan is at Best Buy and he's getting the Pocket. I said, yeah. I immediately looked in the rear view mirror, looked ahead of me, nothing was coming. I flipped the U-turn around the double yellow line and headed straight to Best Buy.
Yeah.
When I got to Best Buy, they had it at Best Buy in the cabinet, just like that. And then it showed, I sent Lawrence a picture of this Mini.
Yeah.
2,
Yeah. I was like,
the
dude, you
picture
got
in
one
Best Buy.
good. I was like, you got one good. You made it.
Now, once I got to the register with it, he didn't have a SKU number in the computer.
It didn't skew. Yeah, right. It wasn't in the till, right?
And
but
that
what
is the
this
same
was,
thing that's going on with that Mini because that is an actual Best Buy photo.
Yeah, but
I sent
basically
to
what
Lawrence.
happened here was somebody at Best Buy with initiative
Click that like
went ahead
button,
and got
guys.
the delivery and actually did a complete job by getting it into their system. Okay. And then shelving them.
Right.
Okay. What you had was hey, this is a hold till, but we're going to rack it.
Yeah.
But it didn't go into their SKU system,
Right.
their point of sale, their POS system, right? So, that's what happened here.
And that
this
was
guy,
the only thing that stopped Herman
gold
from
mine
getting it,
for
because
him.
the guy was going to scan it. They're taught at the register, scan the scan bar.
If it scans, you sell it. Yeah. Sure.
Right.
And
sell it.
And so to go back on some of those specs, I was talking with Eddie, and the thing that threw me for a loop was that it had OcuSync too. I expected the 4K.
Not me.
I expected the 4K 60. But DJI's always talked about the cost of that OcuSync to add it on to, and look, they've minimized the cost because of the number of products that now contain it. So they've reduced the cost of the technology by the footprint of the technology.
Right. But the thing is, and everybody talked about this, and I said to myself, when everybody said, "Oh well, it's not gonna have it," I'm like, I don't see why it wouldn't have it. They're pushing everything towards that smart controller.
Right.
And that's the key right there.
And I didn't see why it wouldn't have it. A lot of the things that I hear people speak on DJI, I've never heard DJI say it. But I hear the things, and like I said, when the guys were talking about it, they said, "Don't expect to see OcuSync." I said, I wouldn't be surprised if they put OcuSync in it. They're putting it in everything.
Yeah.
I think they kind of had to, because I heard that they had shut down the production line for the old style mini
Wi-Fi.
Hey, Sean.
For the Wi-Fi.
Yeah, and so they had to have OcuSync in order to bring this out, because they were using the OcuSync controller.
Flyby guy says we want RAW on the mini too.
I know. You're getting real, demanding there. Okay. No, I agree with you. RAW is the only way to go.
Well,
but,
I mean,
if you're for a true photographer / videographer, RAW is the way to go.
You're right. But
hey, Sean from Geeksmana, how are you, Sean?
Hey, Sean, what's going on?
So Sean actually had Manuel on his show, and he interviewed him about the opportunity of walking in and picking that up, and and good for him too, because if you see, he's got some nice numbers on his YouTube channel, so he's getting a little bit of recognition there. That's great.
Yes, about time for the small.
Even though he ran out,
and then there was
looking like he stole it.
Yeah. There was a young man that Eddie Nunez had sent me a link on, a Best Buy employee who unfortunately got laid off right around COVID, right around the pandemic, but explained how that kind of stuff could happen, in Best Buy, that it wasn't anything anybody was trying to get away with or anything, but he explained it. And he gave this guy a lot of credit on how he handled it.
Well, did you guys see there was another interview online? I can't remember whose channel it was, but it was an older fella, and he went into his Best Buy, found it, had a kid unlock it, hand it to him, and as he was walking up to the front counters, he was accosted by 3 or 4 other people. Oh no, you can't buy that. You can't
Well, I think after the sale, it's a little hard to stop you, but
he never made it to the register.
I'm sorry, Herman. I'm tucking that just like a pigskin and going out the door, man.
High and tight.
That's right, high and tight, baby.
High and tight, knees up.
Good for him, man. Look, you can't tell me that DJI is not getting some traction out of this right now.
Yeah, of course.
Okay,
listen,
we're all talking about it.
It's been hyped. It's been pushed already. This guy, by him getting in there and getting it, the amount of views that he's got. Look at how many sales that they can get off of that, the views alone that he's probably got there. Come on.
And
now,
who
in the chat's going to get one?
You know what made it even more realistic? It was an average Joe. It wasn't somebody who's on YouTube that has large,
or it wasn't an employee. It wasn't an employee.
What's up, cool bit?
Right, because that was kind of like the hype, the thought that was behind it. That it was what do you call it?
an
an employee
inside,
of Best Buy or somebody
inside
like that
job, yeah.
that shot the video.
Yeah.
But hey, hats off to him. I'm glad he got
No,
it.
it's got some
first.
nice specs. You know, it's
Yeah,
got
I
nice
mean, you're
specs. And come
talking
on,
about
you can't. There is no competition at the entry level
no.
against
No,
this.
yeah, you're right.
There's nothing.
You're
There is
right.
nothing out there at this price point
What are they
that
saying?
can
It's
come
still,
anywhere near the specs on. Look, I've said it
Best Buy
several
placed
times.
the Mavic Mini 2 into normal stock and activated it on its tills. That's what we were just talking about
exactly.
before
We
you
were
got
talking
here,
about that, Sean,
because
Right.
before you
Herman
got
had that
here.
issue
Exactly.
with the
It wound
pocket.
up in there. It wound up in their point of sale system. Somebody showed initiative at Best Buy. They received the shipment. They logged it. They put it in the point of sale system. They
Right.
put some into stock, and they never realized this kid up in the Bronx who did a little
Agent
ditty
K
on
was
it.
good. You see
He
what
turned
showed?
around and said how the Best Buy salespeople have they go through training, so they get some experience on certain products, but
Mhm.
usually in the departments they work in.
Right.
Okay, and
Right.
what he was talking about was he's a drone enthusiast. If he would have saw it in there, okay,
Mhm.
he would have known. Hey, wait a second, hasn't even been announced yet. What happened?
That's true.
You
That's
know,
true. Because
but
show
he said you see right on the video where the sales associate that walks up, unlocks it, takes it up to the register for him. The other person head down, scan, book, once
he
goes
did
through,
his
boom,
job.
out the door. It was in
Show
the point of sale system. God
in the
bless him.
chat says
God
he
bless
used to
him.
work for Best Buy. We would not leave things sitting in the warehouse. Move it out on the sales floor as soon as possible. Holding the product could mean it could be missed in a meeting.
Especially
yeah,
they have
yeah.
a
Well,
lockup.
you
for
know
it,
what
too.
happens a lot of
Yeah.
times? They'll maybe get like one or two of them into the store
Right.
that first week, and that is sitting there because that's just, like I told you, that happened with the pocket. And
Sean is always the optimist. Sean Post from Geeksmana, OcuSync plus Mini plus new drone flyers equals big trouble for the hobby. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I just typed
that's a
agreed.
good point to raise.
I
Good
just
point
typed-
to
I just
raise
agreed
there.
You don't
with
have
that.
to register it.
Just wait for the Mavic
Well,
3 Pro, Geeksvana, and that for that scoop too.
Well,
it's Paul, that's a great point, right? This is a below 249
Yeah.
and
right, you talk
it
about
does not have to be
it is true.
registered.
It doesn't
And
have to
I
be
don't
registered
have to.
unless.
Well, unless you're going to use it for commercial purpose, unless you're going to put a skin on it, unless you're going to put landing gear on it, unless you're going to put a filter
cards.
on it. Yeah,
Okay.
but if you're buying it and didn't register it, it's unlikely, even if you bought those accessories, you'd know any better. Okay.
Yeah,
Right.
because you're not
So-
researching it. Yeah.
Right. So Sean raises a good point. Yeah. Just from us that might not purchase it, or us that purchase it and know what we can and cannot do with it. Yeah, it is a public relations nightmare in the brewing
Could be.
for
Yeah,
us.
it can be. But you're talking about what? Yeah, still 249 grams, but 3-axis gimbal, flight time of 31 minutes. Video transmission
Again,
system, as we know,
yeah.
OcuSync
Hi,
2.0,
my name is Latka. I am from Russia.
4K
I like
video,
And I
drones.
can fly a drone 10 kilometers
You have
without
drone for
registering
sale.
it.
4K
Right,
video,
Sean?
maximum 30 frames per second, as the same on the 2.7, the 30 frames per second.
So this means
So-
we'll get really good footage from the brand new flyer of their escapades as they crash into something they didn't know they weren't supposed to be anywhere near.
Well,
So that's good. I'm glad the camera specs are up.
well, they'll be losing the OcuSync,
Right, you
when
can
they
see
can
in
actually
detail
watch
the
the drone
crash.
fly away as they don't lose transmission system.
Well, and the other thing too is how long is it going to be before DJI does a big firmware update so that now, since it's using the same controller, it's got
Mhm.
OcuSync 2, that it's going to have zoom on it because that's all digital anyway.
Well, all I know is that it's going to be a nightmare for some people, because the beautiful thing about OcuSync is the fact that you have that optimal transmission system for, up to a great distance.
Right.
And now they can watch the little thing fly away in the wind They can actually see what boat it landed on.
After taking it up 300 feet on a 30-mile-per-hour day.
Yeah, you know,
You
but
can actually
look,
see exactly which apartment window you flew it into.
well, the thing is, look, you're going for a younger crowd here, right?
Yeah.
Because only somebody pretty young can maintain visual line of sight at 6.2 miles. Okay, so
You can't see
you know
it goes
they're
in
going
that
for a
far?
different audience here. Yeah, 10
Yeah,
kilometers.
they must be.
I
10
don't know.
kilometers.
Listen,
I know a lot of people with eyes better than mine that can't see drones in the air when I can.
Yeah,
And
let's make them.
they also updated. You know, the other one was good for 17 to 18 mile an hour winds. This one's
Mhm.
supposed to be 21 to 24 miles.
That's right. Yeah, it went up a class. It went up a class. But also, let's make sure that we make the drone cloud gray. Okay. So it's easily viewable up in the sky.
Right.
Okay.
well, you know, people used to say the same thing about the Phantom, but once you get it, you know, in between you and a cloud, you can't see it.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, I like Lawrence said, I was out with the kids one time at a beach, and I went way out with it, and they're like, "Oh wow, you're far." I'm like, "You can see it?" They were like, "Yeah, it's right there." I'm like,
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
"Yeah, I see it."
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Look, they made a lot of little changes on this that I think are good.
Mhm.
You know,
Yeah,
the
as long
OcuSync
as they
is a
keep it at
winner.
Yeah,
beginner
that was the
level.
best thing.
Yeah, 4K. Yeah, not having raw. Yeah, as a
What is the
photographer, of course,
distance
I
on
want raw.
the distance on this bird?
10 kilometers, 6.2
now
miles.
see, my problem with that is if they want to enter the entry level section
Yeah,
of
you gotta
drones, you
cut that
don't
down a
need
bit.
nothing to go that far. Because
No,
I
you
know a
give them
lot
a
of people
couple of
on
miles
Christmas,
tops.
a lot of people, they say the worst day to fly a drone is on Christmas because
Transmission
so
system.
many people, this is an actual statistic. The worst day to fly is on Christmas Day because so many people go out and fly their drones
Yeah.
and lose them.
Well, at
Literally.
Christmas, well, no. Now wait a second. Now Christmas morning, there's another 100,000 drone pilots.
Mhm.
Okay.
That too.
By Christmas Eve, it's just the carnage on pine trees alone is unbelievable, right? So
You go outside and just look
that's a
up in the
given.
trees. You might
Well,
see a drone in your
here's
neighborhood.
here's the question I have, and maybe you guys have an opinion on this, but I've never heard anybody ask it before. Is this officially going to be the DJI Anafi killer?
What, the Mavic Mini?
Mini 2.
When you say the Anafi,
The Parrot
Anafi,
Anafi
but
you mean
is in the
old
same price
Anafi
range. It's small.
well,
that
yeah,
no
yeah.
one
If
was
you're talking
buying?
about
That Anafi?
The Parrot Anafi.
The Anafi that really no one was buying.
Right.
nobody, Paul.
That
Paul.
Anafi.
I'm
You
not
don't,
sure.
you don't think the
that's
original
come
Mini
up
did
on
that?
Yeah,
I think
Yeah.
the original Mini took a
I kind of think the Spark did that, but that's
The
But
Nick got it.
the Anafi has 4K, doesn't it?
Okay, let me ask you this. How many people you know have that Anafi?
I don't know anybody.
How many people got the
Billy
Mini?
Kyle.
Mhm.
All the
Here
guys
in
that
New
got them
York-
sent to them.
Here in New York, no one.
if you got them sent to you, yeah. There's not many. There's not, I mean, they're out there, but that's
All I'm
been
saying
dead
is-
for a while now.
I mean, I'm not saying that no
Parrot's
one
not
bought it.
into. And Geek Spawner, Sean, you beat me to it.
I
yeah.
assume no one bought it, but I don't think it moved like
No.
even the Mini did.
Nafi's not in the consumer games.
Yeah.
In the consumer game
Anymore.
space anymore. No,
Yeah.
no,
Well,
no,
they
no.
had to sell them drones to someone. Why not the
Yeah.
government?
The government,
Yeah.
the government.
They're still for sale on Amazon, but I don't know anybody that's buying.
Well, you got the Mini coming out. It's supposed to be due
Tim
like what,
Jackson's. How
I
are you,
think
sir?
what they said, the
Look.
first week of November or something like that.
The first week, I believe.
Yeah,
but
first week of November.
look,
Corey,
Wednesday.
they got a lot
something
of
like that.
traction. They got a lot of traction on this.
Oh, yeah.
There's nobody. I find it surprising that nobody from DJI's reached out to this gentleman. At least send them a golf shirt, would you?
A
At
golf
least.
shirt.
I got the first Mini
Send
too.
us some extra
you know?
batteries
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
because they should fill up
Look
anyway.
at that. Somebody doing a segue there? Somebody beat
No.
me to the segue?
I'm just saying.
Batteries.
I'm just saying, talking about the government, and drones
good,
and the
Big
government. What happened?
November 4th, it's supposed to be released, according to Big Matt.
Yeah, that's what I heard too.
Show says
Yeah.
the Mini 2
Yeah.
is designed to be the Femi and Hubson killer. Anything on that Mini class from the Spark, from the Spark on up to the Mini 2 was supposed to knock Hubson out of the water, because Femi does have a drone that's very, very cheap, shoots 4K. In fact, the best feature about that drone is the camera. Okay, but and a lot of people went crazy buying this Femi because they could not buy a DJI drone. So according to like Show says, they actually came up with this Mini and this Mini 2 to knock those drones out the box, which they did with something smaller.
Yeah,
you don't even see advertisements for them.
Look, whatever DJI puts out there, they're going to get sales. There's no doubt about it.
Yeah, like we were talking before, Lawrence, they could sell you a soda can with an antenna looks like a straw, and nobody, and you would argue that that's not a soda can.
Right. Herman and I were talking about that. We said if they came out, I was talking about controllers. I said if DJI came out with a controller that looked like a soda can, people would buy it. You know why? Because it's DJI.
But
I thought because I could sit on a park bench and nobody would know I was flying.
Yeah.
Ray's in the green room. He's been there for a while. He's been yelling, yo, yo. I was wondering why he's going, yo.
Oh, okay. I was about to send him the link again.
Up at the top, you got to let him in.
How are you this evening? And thanks for coming Wednesday nights with those guys.
There.
All I can say is,
he
to be honest,
link,
Tom,
right?
It's ingenious, Tom, because if you are into computers, I used to repair computers. A lot of people don't know this, but I go to a lady's house and how old is your computer? Well, I've had it like 4 years. Well, a computer year is every 6 months. And then that means technically that computer is 8 years old. The same thing is happening with DJI, with this Mini, this Mini 2. They're keeping your palette wet by throwing these little morsels at you. You ever see they throw chum in the ocean? That's what they're doing with the Mini. They're throwing it
it's developing different your market strategy can't be hanging on one customer.
Right.
And thinking I got the world by the short hairs.
He said he don't see the link, Herman.
I got a customer.
I got you, Ray.
No, unless I have a multitude of customers in different demographics, I don't have a viable
you don't have a real business.
Well, it's the futures we're talking about. It's what you value the company to be, not what you value it where it is right now. You got to work towards that. So you talk about you got to develop your next crop of customers, right? So you bring them in at the entry level. You bring them in for the Mini. Okay. Why did DJI, adopt a Tello that wasn't even theirs? To bring people into the mix. Okay.
Yeah. Well, that was on the educational level. That was on the educational level because that was specifically for STEM programs.
That was actually
with open source.
Another company's drone. DJI did most of the legwork for it because they were the name that was known.
Hey Ray, I sent it through Messenger.
But that was what was that? Rise or something?
Yes.
That had to do it, and Intel did the software and stuff like that on it.
It was every 6 months
a collaboration.
Yeah.
Every 6 months you double your speed, you half your cost. Okay, that's the development cycle. That's the workflow cycle in technologies.
True.
And you shrink your size. I mean, those are the three ingredients that always come along. But halving their price, halving their cost, not halving what they're going to charge you. Okay.
Right. Of course.
So they have to develop that market. You need the Mini 2 pilots. Okay. To start populating.
JSK.
To start populating the
Right.
FPV they're going to sell, the Mavic 3 they're going to sell. Okay, you need people to graduate up to that.
You
And
see what
how many of
Flyby
his?
guys put? It
Mhm.
says DJI is introducing an intro drone once a year. This would help the community grow faster.
Yeah, Courtney,
It's
right?
true.
Yeah,
It's true.
What? How many of us can honestly say, and this is to raise Courtney's point, how many of us can honestly say we only have one drone? No, of course we don't. It's like crack cocaine.
I only
Okay.
have
What are you
one.
talking about?
Yeah. I don't care how big your wings are, buddy. You ain't covering up all that.
Yeah.
I only have
Right.
one drone.
Yeah. I only see one above your head.
Yeah,
Herman.
only one above your head.
Yeah, I only see one above your head, Herman. Okay.
And a box over
How
here.
big
There
it
must
is?
be a mirror in between those. That's
Yeah, right.
projecting, a reflection.
It's an
You see how
optical,
big it is?
optical
So,
illusion.
so that still means he only has half of a Phantom 4-3,
Yeah.
a Phantom 3 if there's a mirror there.
Yeah.
So you have 1.5 drones, Herman.
So yeah, I mean, it's we buy this stuff. Eddie Nunez, how many FPV drones you have now, Eddie? And I
Yeah.
said it quiet.
Yeah.
I'm saying it quietly so his wife can't hear.
But
Yeah,
no.
Eddie, I have one less
Drones
after the voodoo spell Sunday. But the question is, how many
Yeah,
do
we
you
know
have?
who gave you that voodoo.
How many birds
spell.
do you have? Seriously.
Well,
How many of those we got piled up in the basement?
That theory, though, Tom, is what we need to do is Norwich needs to get his wife on here, and we'll ask her how many.
They're
drones.
not home. What?
And I guarantee you,
I can talk shit now. They're not home.
I think Lawrence's wife keeps tabs on him. She could probably spit that number out like that.
Hey, what's up, Tim Jackson? Listen,
Wow.
all I know is if I keep this pattern here, they don't notice what's on the workbench down here. So it's like my daughter. If they want to know where I'm at, they look at the drones first. They look at the ones in the room, then they look at
take a good look. Take a good look over his shoulder.
Okay?
7 drones all together with the camera drones. See?
That kind of looks like my windshield after I got done driving through the desert.
Listen, Tom, that whole thing started when he had a whole wall of drones that didn't fly.
Herman, you remember?
And his goal was to replace each and every one of them with one that could fly.
Yeah,
Yep.
Lawrence used to go around and point them out.
Go.
Yeah, that one, but it doesn't fly. Yeah, that one, it doesn't fly. That one doesn't fly.
Yeah, well, now it's done. Now everything that you see flies.
So now he can actually fly that whole panel of sheetrock.
Yes, I could probably hook it on the corners and take off. I have to fill this. I just got to get the proper.
See, now he's got to fill that one. Look at that. Look,
Hold on.
Look at this.
Here's one. These two will fit because these are both 6-inch birds. Eddie Nunez, this is the one that has GPS on her, as you see right there. But these two will go up there, and then I'll have room
for a third one.
This one that's under construction.
And you've got another one in the box
there, and they'll never notice.
Thank God for them not caring.
Oh, wait a minute. Wait. I had one buried. This is the twin for here. Okay, you want to know what the example is? This is a regular Volkswagen. This one's a Porsche with the Volkswagen engine. They're the exact same models except different power. But it happens. Eddie Nunez says he's got 4 now. He's only got 4 because he's trying to figure out a way how to smuggle more in the house. Eddie, I can hook you up. I know how to do it. You got a closet by the door, the front door?
You move it from closet to closet?
We'll talk, Eddie. When you come out here to fly, I'll tell you how to get more drones in the house. They won't notice a thing, bro.
Look, I figured it out, guys. I figured it out already. Look, here's how it works. When I buy something, the wife buys something. Okay, you just got to resign yourself to the fact. That's all.
Oh, wait, I'm already doing that. I'm already doing that. But it's like this, Tom.
You're trying to get away cheap.
No,
the
Tom.
The tax man's going to get you.
No.
I'm just saying, the tax man's eventually going to get you.
Tom, check it out. The way it goes.
You think somebody's not taking inventory?
Sheep.
When you're not looking, so you go down to the
Herman, where's the damn mute button, man?
The census isn't happening.
Where's the mute button, man?
Just saying, bro.
That's the world he lives in, you know.
I don't know.
Hey, you
But
know, are you Herman? You conspiring against Ray tonight,
no, I sent the link.
or is he fat fingering the number?
How many lipos you got, Eddie? You talk about too
I
many
just
lipos.
sent one to Ray.
I sent it to Ray in Messenger. I told him.
I sent it an email.
Eddie Nunez, you said too many lipos. This is what I come home with.
Yeah, you know what? Look.
After I'm
You,
done
you, you
flying.
should have to get a fire department certificate of fitness for all that
To keep
potential
those in the
energy.
house, right?
Yeah, just to keep them in there. Okay.
Well, if you notice, they're right by the front door. So if I
Yeah,
smell
I love
anything
how they're
burning,
in a lipo safe bag too.
Oh,
This way
right
you
here.
can see them burn, right?
Well, Tom,
I don't have
talking
enough
about the
bags.
fire
Hey,
department-
fishnet is fishnet, man.
I
Wherever
don't
it
have
is, it
enough.
looks
No, I
good.
don't have enough lipo bags for the lipos that I have.
Don't worry
Hi,
about it, Ron.
Ray.
Just put them in a bucket. What's
Hey,
up,
brother
Ray?
Paul.
Did you get my
Ray.
email or one of the
Yeah,
other
I got
guys?
you, Paul. Thank you, Paul.
You got mine.
At
Okay.
least Paul had your back, Ray.
Yeah, let Lon send me some
Hey,
messenger
Ray,
link.
I
Come
told
on,
you
really?
I sent it in Messenger.
Well,
Check
since when you send it in Messenger? I never get it in Messenger.
He sent you last week's, Ray. Don't let
Thank
him
you,
kid
Adam.
you.
And Ray,
Okay.
and I got a phone call from Montreal from Rogers, said, hey, what's the matter with you guys? Ray's trying to get in there.
See? Her was just sipping on that glass. He ain't see nothing.
I sent you the link
I got it.
twice.
No, you said it once. I got it once, not twice. I got it
Send it
once.
to you twice.
All right, so you got it once. I'm here. What's good? I
Tom,
got Paul still. I ain't got
talking
Lawrence.
about
There
the
you go,
fire
Tom.
department and the police and stuff like that. I found this thing here with this company. What's it? Sonin Hybrid.
Yes.
It's Atlanta
Sonin,
based
Sonin
hybrid. It's Atlanta based manufacturer, drone manufacturer. They have with a waiver from the FAA, they built a drone that has speeds of up to 140 plus miles per hour.
Yes.
That
Yes.
is a drone exclusively for first responders.
Police.
You know, it is equipped
Police,
With a
fire,
flight-
EMS.
with a flight time of over 3 hours.
Yep. And a cruising speed of 60 miles per hour. So when it's just chilling, it's still doing 60.
You know,
Wow.
I think
So
this is
140 miles per hour, you figure it should be able to chase down any car in the city, or at least
Well,
keep up with it
the
above the
whole
buildings.
idea of it, based on this thing here, is that they're talking about, a lot of drones, the average time on them are like 30 minutes, and certain jobs that first responders,
No,
are
you got to
working on,
loiter for a long.
they might need more time than that. But
You
this
need
thing
more
is
loiter
designed-
on scene time. Yeah.
right?
Mhm.
Because it's a hybrid, it has a system that charges the battery while in flight.
Yeah.
And for this thing to have this kind of flight time out of over 3 hours,
And a speed
Well,
of 140 miles per hour
and-
plus.
They've actually broken their own records several times. This company. So
and
Well,
to
listen,
the
listen.
recruit.
Can you?
Yeah.
I would love to see one of these things just with the
Yeah,
lights
so
going
would I,
through the sky. That would be so badass. You see a bunch of them, a fleet of them going to a scene. You know how you see the police
But what's
copters?
it, a 30
Except you
time
see a couple of
optical,
those.
30 time optical, and a zoom, and a 12 times digital zoom,
Yes.
4K camera.
And
4K
infrared
video.
imaging sensors as well, a siren,
Yeah,
and PA speakers.
night vision, spotlights, speakers. It's fully equipped for the police department and the fire department.
Yes, they highly suggest for law enforcement, firefighters, and government agencies that they give them the power and flexibility to complete more advanced and extended missions.
And
So
it's basically the same, roughly around the same size as your Matrice, 300 RTK.
They're gonna be smacking them into them buildings. Let them cops get them here.
And
I don't
when
know.
something has a
I know.
40-minute flight time as opposed to 30-minute.
They can't catch you on a motorcycle right now. Picture them trying to catch you in a car.
well, the thing is, they don't have to catch you.
Right, they just have to keep
They
you in
just have
sight.
to
Right.
observe
The
you.
software
At
and
some
stuff that's
point
on
in
this,
time,
they'll find
Ray,
you.
No, I hear
At some
what you're
point in
saying,
time,
though, but
Ray, you run out of fuel. Okay.
True.
Let me tell you
So-
something. When you running through Red Hook, everything look the same. You can lose them real quick.
You
Trust
can,
me.
but remember the
Trust me.
acquisition and the
The
AI
views and
skills
opinions
now.
heard tonight are not necessarily the views and opinions of everyone on
So,
the panel tonight.
I'm not
Hey,
disputing
hey.
what you're saying because
Yeah.
look, any of this technology without the right training is a disaster waiting to happen.
Right. It's like
I
the old
don't
Okay.
even think it'll
computer.
be implemented in that
But-
way.
No,
Yeah.
I think look, these things really what's needed in public safety for these types of operations is what we call loiter time. Okay.
Mhm.
This
Time
is-
we can remain on station.
Right.
Put on sharing.
You know, if you have a battery that lasts 30 minutes, that means you're landing every 24 to 25 minutes. Okay. And you're
This
cycling.
is what it actually looks like. I cannot blow up the picture, unfortunately, any bigger than this. I think this one's bigger,
The
but
picture was probably better.
yeah, this one here, right? But
From
this
the
is
other-
basically what it
the
looks
other
like.
article.
She, like they said, she comes with lights, sirens, and all the bells and whistles to let you know if you can't see or hear this thing, you must be a mute.
Excuse me. Have you? Well, you've never driven an emergency vehicle through city traffic. Nobody hears you.
True.
They
Nobody
hear
gets
you.
out of the way.
True. They
They
hear
hear
you,
you,
they
it's
just
just-
can't move.
Well, I'll tell you.
The guy
It's
in
gotten-
front is looking at the light, and the guy crossing, he's like, "I'm not putting my car."
Well, we
on."
have something. We have something in New York
Now
City,
you don't
and
know
it's
where the
probably
sound coming from.
it's
People
probably
just
elsewhere. Well, we have something called ground rumblers now.
freak.
If you're in the New York area, you've heard those sirens.
Mhm.
Okay, those are called ground rumblers because they're downward facing sirens to actually at low frequency to
Yeah.
make your car vibrate. Because you know when you say some people hear you, you'd be surprised with the way car manufacturing has gone and the insulation in
Right. They keep
vehicles
the
and all
sound
that.
out.
They
do
keep the sound out. Okay, you
Yep.
get yourself in an Escalade, close those doors, you ain't hearing shit. It's like putting a pair of Bose sound
Yeah.
comforts on,
It's
Now,
right?
the first thing
So-
people do when they hear a fire truck, emergency vehicle, they just come to a complete stop. They don't know where it's coming from. They just hear it.
It's hard to know, right? And
Yeah.
actually, if you go out of this area, people actually make a concerted effort to pull over to the right.
Exactly.
If you
Yeah.
are in the city, you're making a concerted effort to figure out how you can jump on the bumper of that emergency vehicle after it passes you, so you too can get through
People are
traffic.
predicting that when they
Okay.
see it behind them.
But Tom, you
When they
gotta
see
remember
behind it,
one
and
thing.
I can't tell you how many accidents occur that way. I had and I'll talk
Yeah,
about
because
this story
everybody's
real
trying to
quick.
get out there.
This is I'm going to state right now a fictional recount of what had happened in the past some time ago. By the way, the statute of limitations is over. I knew a guy who was a medic, and he'd be working Midtown Manhattan,
Mhm.
and he would at the beginning of his shift, he'd put a can of white paint. He put a little case of white paint, spray paint, like he was a graffiti artist, in the back compartment of the ambulance. And as he was running on jobs down Fifth Avenue in the fire lane, if a yellow cab got a little too close on his rear bumper, he would yell out to his partner, "Brake." And his partner would stand on the brakes, and the cab would eat the rear steel heavy bumper.
And
And then he would continue along on his way, because he could look in the rear view mirror and there'd be antifreeze shooting out of the disabled cab's front end. And of course, after dropping off the patient, or actually getting to the call and then getting to the hospital and dropping off the patient, then he would make sure that he did whatever necessary paint job was required on the back bumper. Okay.
You know what, Tom?
Just fell short of actually putting little checker cabs on his front bumper, like a World War II ace would.
Tom,
Okay.
you know that I used to drive a truck for this warehouse in Queens, and right on Hillside Avenue in Queens, a guy ran my first week. Guy ran right up underneath the back of the truck with a Honda Civic. Windshield, everything, hood, headlights, grill, everything bent. I thought the back of the truck blew up. I jumped out the truck, and I look, it's him all up underneath the truck.
Yeah. Well, it's surprising how many trucks hit things and don't even know they hit them, and it's real.
Oh,
It
no,
happens a
he
lot.
ran into me.
That happens
Yeah.
every day
Yeah.
in New York.
Hey,
on a
Herman, did
regular.
he have a hard time getting out of the car?
Oh no, he had to wait for the ambulance and them to come because
Oh, he was
ran up
hurt?
underneath me. I was pulling over.
Ah,
Yeah. See, with the ground rumblers, they're known as rumblers actually, and it's a misnomer that it's a ground rumbler because actually, the low frequency sound waves actually are able to penetrate and vibrate things in the vicinity, and that's how they got around the you can't hear the siren. Well, now you can feel the siren.
Right.
Okay.
Right. It makes a lot of sense. That's great tech too.
Yeah. Well, it's
'Cause
solutioning, right? You
Old
figure out
guys
there's a
like us
problem.
can't hear it, but
yeah.
we'll be able to feel it.
Yeah, well, I can't, I got a hearing deficit in one ear because for many years the sirens were, as a first responder, the sirens were up on the roof.
Mm-hmm.
Of
Before
the
they
vehicle,
started
and,
putting them in the grill.
And we were taught you keep the window open slightly so you can hear other things. And of course, it was deafening us at the time. Now sirens are always mounted on the front bumper. Or below the front bumper, so that they have the entire engine and firewall between you and the siren, to cut down on the hearing deficit disorders that are faced by
I'm
many.
yelling at the whole family after retirement.
Oh no, it happens. Yeah, but then again, I think there's a conspiracy going on. I when the wife begins the conversation with me when I'm 2 rooms away, I don't think anybody hears that except the ba, 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 ba.
That's my daughter.
So,
That's my daughter, Tom. All I hear is daddy. I'm like, what?
Yeah. And she sometimes thinks I say what just to annoy her. No, I really no.
No, I tell my daughter, you have to come in here. I cannot hear you.
Yeah.
And one time, now I play Xbox with my headphones on, right? And one time she called me and I was like, okay, I had the headphones there. I wasn't even playing, but I had the headphones on. So when she looks into the living room, she sees me with the headphones looking straight at the TV. So she goes back in her room, it's like it worked. Then she comes down and says, hey, you didn't have the control in your hand. That was the only thing that blew it for me.
So Tom, when you think the police are going to roll these out?
Well, again, it all comes down to if you have a need for the solution, right?
I want to see something.
And then it comes down to, do you have the budget for the solution?
Right.
Because I'll tell you, out there in the first responder world right now, that's the big if. Where's the money coming from?
Yeah, because this is supposed to be faster than most commercial drones on the market right now, and there's not too many of them out there. But
the Matrice only does 51 to 56. The Matrice 300.
Here's where something like this makes complete sense. You have a lot of departments that have a desire to have a manned aviation unit, but it's cost prohibitive.
Right.
So this really fills that need. Okay. You're talking about your cost to operate per hour is a fraction of what it would cost you to manage a manned aviation solution. And as a result, most departments don't have one. Okay. Right. Only the big players, like, we're in an area of big players when it comes to, New York City, okay, Nassau, Suffolk, Westchester. There's nothing but money here. Of course they have aviation units.
Right.
But you start getting down into the sticks and where they could really benefit from a manned aviation unit because of the sheer vastness of space, they can't afford it because they don't have the tax base.
True.
So this is where something like this really becomes a lot more useful. And I think in the fire service, when you need to put something up and keep it up there for a while, this might get consideration. But keep in mind, it's a hybrid engine, currently requires fuel. And again, hopefully you got a good support network that can support that aircraft for you.
Right.
And the hybrid system.
They're at Taco Bell.
Yeah.
They're at Taco Bell. They just left Taco Bell. They'll be here shortly.
Lawrence spying on the family.
No. I have a 16-year-old daughter. I have a
You
16-year-old
know,
daughter. I told her I will stalk you.
no, please,
I'm
please.
your father.
When I take the wife to the mall, and we haven't done that since pre-COVID.
Don't you use
That app,
walkie-talkies?
no, this app right here, baby, right there. Okay.
Oh, Zoom?
Whether, well, I can find her. No.
This
yeah,
Life
yeah.
360.
Yeah. So this way I can figure out where she is in Macy's.
Mhm.
Okay. Or which store she's in now, so I can track her down.
Mhm.
Okay.
You know, one time,
I
Tom,
thought for
it's
her to
funny.
find
I
you when you
used
disappeared.
Tom. I
Nah,
used the
she knows
same
I'm either going to
app.
be at Apple, Micro Center. Okay.
Hey, Tom, check this out. I
I
actually
don't
used
like
this
going
app
in
one
there.
time to find out where they were. They were supposed to
Hey,
meet me at a certain place in 30 minutes, and I was hungry. So I saw that they had left the store and went to another store instead of coming to meet me. So I went up to the food court and ate a meal. And by the time I finished eating, they were just getting to the spot where I was. And guess what? They were hungry and I wasn't.
There you go.
I
Hey.
don't
Did
like
anybody
going to
check?
Micro Center.
Okay. Now,
What?
don't abandon the show right now, but did anybody check to see if Micro Center has the Mavic 2 in stock, the Mini 2 in stock?
You know
Because they're
what?
another
No,
one that's
I
good for
actually
know
that.
what?
did, but you checking it now, Lars?
Yep.
Yeah, I can say I don't like going to Micro Center.
Because you come out with shit you don't need.
Well, you might want to just call them and ask them for the department.
See that? You see how you talk to me, Ray?
I still don't think that nobody's gonna be able to sell it until DJI basically put it on their site.
DJI.
You can have them all you
Well,
want.
no, you're not supposed
It's
to.
a
Ray.
gag order.
Exactly.
It's a gag order.
Exactly.
It's a gag order.
But
It's a gag order. Trust me when I
they
tell you.
pre-ship. They pre-ship all of this. I mean,
Yeah.
remember what happened?
You
Remember
can't
what
do
happened
anything
with
to it
what,
until
the
they put it
Mavic
on
2?
their site.
What?
The Mavic
Okay.
2, Sean from Geek Spawner, happened in your neck of the woods, right? Wasn't it put on a catalog in the catalog for a
Yep, it was
Best Buy
leaked.
like
It was
Yep.
leaked.
There's another
electronic
store.
store in the UK?
Mhm.
Yes.
Right, they had it in their
Yeah.
catalogs.
But
I
the
remember
had it
that.
in the
The
catalog.
only
Tell
thing
us
is you got to
before
remember.
DJI.
You got to remember these guys that got the
No,
Mavic
Micro
Mini
Center
2s,
doesn't have it.
you
Yeah.
can't fly it because it
Oh
won't,
no, because it's not. Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Well, like I said
You
before,
will not
You
sell
can't-
one
you
before
can't
DJI.
active-
Nobody
No,
will sell
no,
one
no.
before DJI.
Well, you can't
how it goes.
activate it.
Can't
can't
activate it and take
activate
it off the ground.
Right.
Eddie
Right.
Nunez says his local Best Buy has them inside a cage but won't sell it.
but that's what I keep trying to tell you. That picture came
Yeah,
from the
because
Best
it
Buy.
went viral.
But when I
Exactly.
said
No, no, yeah.
You're right,
No,
Herb.
no,
it wasn't
I
from
know.
that
Yep.
video, and when the Pocket came out, I went to
Same
Best
thing.
Buy. The kid at Best
Yep.
Buy didn't know better. He took it out of the
Right.
cage.
Right.
We went up to the register. He tried 3 times to put it
And it
through,
wouldn't
and it
scan,
couldn't go
right.
through. And when he went and got one of the managers, he said, "You cannot sell that right
It
now."
can't because it
Nope.
wasn't in their point of sale system.
Dang, they're home
Because
already.
management intervened and made sure
DJI
don't put
makes
this
a
in the
rule with
POS
its
system.
distributors. You cannot sell them before DJI. That's not going to
Well, yeah,
happen.
it's part of their
You can have them
agreement.
in your store all you want.
They get pre-shipped.
Exactly.
You know, B&H is sitting on a mountain of these.
You think
Okay.
they're not? They're sitting on a
Yeah, of
few
course they're sitting
skids.
on a mountain
few
of them.
skids of them.
Yeah, sure. Because that's how business works. They
Yep.
got to
Right.
get them in so that the rush to the stores, okay, is fruitful.
Rush.
You know, and there will be a rush to
Hey,
this.
Desmond.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, I buy them all. This one I will not buy. You're hearing it first from me. I'll get them all.
Why
This
not?
one I will not buy.
Why
So
not?
what you thinking
wanna
there,
know
Ray?
why
I mean,
not?
I don't plan on buying it either, but it's because I don't need
Why?
it. But
I'm gonna just say why I won't buy it for the simple reason, like, all right, so I bought the first mini, all right. So you come out with
Yeah.
this mini. I know they're trying to keep the weight down. I'm not gonna buy another mini with no screwdriver props, all right.
I got
Yep.
you.
That's one thing. Number two, it's still 249 grams. You put all this extra kilometers on it for what? For people to crash, people to lose their drones. Like it don't make any sense to me, and it's not
Yeah.
gonna do
to
anything.
me, it's an
more.
entry-level drone, right?
And
Hey.
it's not gonna do anything
Hey,
more.
Dave.
Bye-bye, guys.
Hey,
Thanks for
Dave.
coming
Having
in.
a
Thanks for
4K on
visiting.
it. Other than the 4K and the OcuSync, what else
Thanks
do
for
it have?
stopping in, man.
No, that's it.
You know?
Look, I agree with you, Ray. The two selling points on this are OcuSync 2, which hopefully means
Yep.
those that have a smart controller can put it in their hangar. Okay. And the
Mhm.
second is the 4K 60. Okay. And Ray,
Yeah.
you know,
that nice
you like
controller.
me,
They give you a
you
new
like me
controller.
bought the first one because it was a convenient package you could carry around, right? But if they came out with this one, we would have bought this one, but this level wasn't available. To me, I
Exactly.
have something that shoots 4K 60 with a larger sensor. I have something that can handle wind better, even though they raised the motor capability and the prop size. It doesn't fill a need for me.
Mhm.
Therefore, I will not
Me neither.
purchase it. Okay.
Exactly.
And by the
Exactly.
way,
You
I
know
do have
me.
a Mavic Mini 1 for sale at a nicely discounted price if anyone's interested. Okay.
I
But
gave mine to my grandson. He loves it, man.
yeah,
I
that's
gave it to
great,
my
man.
grandson.
That's
He
great.
loves it. You know.
Yeah.
It's perfect for him. You know. And as all my drones get old, I'll give him all of them. He'll be having my.
Give me a second. I'll be right
my
back. The
Mavic
girls
2,
just got here.
all of them. Yeah.
The
But I won't buy another drone until they come out with a more megapixels because I'm good with that. I will never
Well,
get
Ray.
rid of one of my Phantoms. I have 2 Phantoms.
Ray,
I will
this can
always
shoot-
keep one of them.
can't this thing shoot something like 64 megapixel, which is nothing more than the Bayron chip. It's nothing more than the where they're layering the resolution
the
to call it more
yeah.
to call it more than it is, right?
You saw what I put on it today, Herman and Paul, right? I said DJI made me so mad. I went out and bought me a D850 Nikon.
Yeah.
Right. So instead of waiting for these guys, because I know they ain't coming out with something that I want right now. So I bought myself an early birth Christmas gift. I paid $1,500 for a D850 Nikon.
Yeah, that's a great price on a great body.
With 2,000 clicks on it, Tom.
And they're very nice, very nice.
2,000 clicks on it. Yep. Good piece of equipment.
Well, look, like anything else, you can chase technology and still come up short, right? Because
Yes,
no sooner you buy something, it's antiquated.
Exactly.
The old day you buy an F5 camera body, it'd be worth a little more than what you paid for it. Today, I rolled my camera bodies over, Ray, I would say every 14 to 18 months. I sell off a camera body for the next one because that's the only way I can maintain my value on it.
I mentioned
so what you do,
earlier,
you just make sure you get a camera where you can still use the same lenses you have?
Well, I'm a Nikon Pro shooter, so I mean, like right now I have a D500 body with camera grip for sale. Okay.
Gotcha.
Because it was a second backup body. Right.
But Ray, before you got here, I had mentioned earlier that the computer year is every 6 months. So you got to figure technology is changing every 6 months.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, Ray,
but that camera is still a sick camera, no matter how old it is.
No. Well, first off, a D850 is built like a tank. Its capability, your ability to crop. I mean, as a photographer, I want a larger image. I want a larger sensor, and it's not so much that I'm going to be printing a billboard at 300 DPI. No, I want the ability to reframe and recrop my image as necessary. I want sharpness. I want all those things I desire, and you get that with the Pro body. And where you really get the bump there, Ray, is spending your money on the right glass. Okay.
I bought
the number one thing, the number one improvement people can make. I mean, look, you can make phenomenal images using a D300 series or a D3000 series or a D5000 series Nikon entry level DSLR. But you're not going to make those images with those kit lenses they include. Okay. You got to pay for good glass.
I bought a nice 24, nice wide 24. I bought a 50 millimeter.
Prime.
I bought a 105 VR.
105 is the best, one of the best portrait lenses you can go.
105 VR for the stabilization. If I want to, one click out, one f-stop 160. So, so I get that steady note. I don't get no blur. So I've been doing my homework before I bought it, because I used to shoot before. But I said, for that price,
if you were looking for a good grab and go lens, something you could keep on the camera body and know you could cover a good range, that would be the 28 to 300 Nikkor.
Okay, 28 to 300.
Yeah, you drop me a DM, I'll give you the specs on that. That's that's something you're going to throw in a bag and take with you. And no matter
You can
what
do
pops
multiple
up in
things.
your way, yeah, it's
Mhm.
a full frame.
Okay.
Okay. It's a full frame, so it's 28 to 300.
It's 1.4 or 2.8?
No, Ray. This is a super zoom. So this
super
is going to
zoom. Okay,
run
it's a
you.
zoom.
This is going to be a 3.5 to a 5.6.
I got you. Okay.
Okay. But it's a
Super.
grab and go lens. It's a lens that no matter what's happening, you can grab it out of your bag and get the shot, so to speak.
Is
right?
it more than 10? Is it more than 10 inches or 12 inches long?
It depends. I
Okay.
said DM me. I'll
Okay.
yeah, because it's definitely in my arsenal. You know.
Okay.
The other lens I love now I've switched over, Ray, to the Z mount. So I'm a Nikon mirrorless shooter now.
Right. Okay.
That is
okay.
one amazing sensor, by the way.
Yeah,
It is
I heard
sharp
about
right to the very edges.
Yeah, I heard about it.
It's a big ass sensor too. So the mounting is a lot larger.
Mhm.
But I shoot 24 to 200 on that. Stays on it almost 90% of the time.
Wow.
Okay. I have a 50 1.4, I think, is the top end lens on that one. And but I also love it has what's known as an F. So Nikon mount is known as F mount.
Right.
And this is now known as Z mount. So one of the things that was included was called an FTZ, or an F to Z mount. So I can still shoot. I can still shoot all my old Nikon glass on this camera as well.
Gotcha.
Okay. But the lens I really love for wildlife and landscape is a 200 to 500 millimeter f4. So
200 to
that's
what?
200 to 500.
Okay.
That's not a cheap lens, and it's heavy, baby.
Yeah.
It's heavy. You're mounting this lens to the tripod, not your camera body to the tripod.
Exactly. Yeah.
Right? Yeah. I've seen a couple of people make the mistake, at a couple of photo walks, and I had to say, whoa. That's a big investment that's going to topple over on you.
Yeah, it'll throw you right over.
Yeah. But once you start buying glass, you're stuck with a manufacturer, basically.
Exactly.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't want to be switching around with different companies, different brands. I was going to go with the Sony, the A6, but I decided when I saw this price, I decided to jump on it for that price. And
And Nikon glass and Canon glass, hey, you can't put them down. They're right neck and neck.
So Tom, what they say in camera terminology, or you marry the glass or you bone the camera.
Oh man, once you make an investment, it's like sending a kid to college. You better earn off of it.
Hey,
Okay.
Tom, said old Nikon glass can be wonderful.
Yeah. Good point. They each have a personality to them.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. It's the bokeh. It's the blurriness. It's really comes down to the way the diaphragm opens and closes, what you can get. So here's a little trick for you DSLR shooters. If you've ever seen how the sun can almost starlight on you and the individual beams pop out, that's a little smoke and mirrors trick, by the way. In order to do that, all you got to do is really stop down your lens to like an f/16, okay, and get the sun in the shot. Don't point your camera directly at the shot with your naked eye; it hurts. Okay, but make sure you have the sun, okay, in the frame, and the sun will actually try to get around the diaphragm fins inside, and it gives you those rays of light, beams of light, right? And without using a filter. I mean, you can go out and buy a Starlight filter if you want,
right?
Or stop down your lens. Okay, so each one is squinting with the camera lens. Exactly. Each I love Nikon glass because each one has a personality. That's the way I look at it. Each one gives you just something a little different. Like I was saying, if you really want to say, take a shot from the Kosciuszko Bridge of the city skyline, but you want to get it to where those buildings look like they're compressed together, how they come together, you shoot that with a really, really long lens and you compress the scene. Okay.
Gotcha.
The wider the lens, the more distant things look from each other. So you can really spread it out that way. But again, like when we talk, we're talking a little while here about, still cameras. These still cameras now they're coming out with can shoot amazing video also.
Yeah.
Okay, with very, very large sensors.
Yeah,
So
the 4K
where that
camera,
comes into play is low light. Ray,
Mhm.
your 850, man, the low light capability of that lens is
That's what I heard. It's
that
amazing.
sensor is amazing.
Amazing,
Okay,
yeah. Mhm.
coupled with the right lens, you can see in the dark.
That
Okay,
40
I know.
megapixels, what, 46 megapixels? Yeah.
Yeah, but the low light capability is amazing, and that's on the forensic photography side of the fence, like with fire marshals and all, they shoot with Nikons for a couple of reasons. Number one, there's authenticator software, so when you have to submit something for evidence, it can provide verification that the image was never altered. Okay, it's like you can do anything in Photoshop today, but you better not submit a photoshopped image in court, right? So the image has to be out of the camera
Original.
in order to be submitted for evidence, right? But I've seen where you can take a Nikon D5 and go into a black soot smoked room with no light and shoot at like 5200 52,000 ISO and get a usable image that's it will blow your socks out, like you can see in the dark almost. Okay, so but that D5 is well now the D6. I think the D6 is about $8,000.
Yeah,
$8,000 just for the camera body.
The body,
right?
Just the body, yeah.
Just the body, but that's a camera you drag through war zones.
Yeah.
Okay, and it still performs. Okay, but what are drones to us? A drone to me is just a camera platform.
Basically, that flies. Okay. Yeah.
Keep giving me better cameras. I'll keep buying more drones.
That's what I want.
Give me a better camera. I'll buy.
Exactly. Yeah. But I don't have to work so much harder on post and production and stuff. Give me something nice,
Yeah.
That's why I won't buy that drone, man. I'm like, nah, because everybody's like, I know you're gonna get it. You got me wrong this time.
I wanted to fly this weekend because the bride and I went up to Highland, New York, and we took our bikes across the walkway across the Hudson, and but it was overcast. It was very foggy out, and it was sprinkling. So I didn't get to throw her up. I really want to use that action, that the new active track on that Mavic Air 2 with the with the spotlight mode. I mean, that's sweet. That's sweet. The spotlight mode.
So Herm, how you getting around? You getting better?
I'm getting around. I'm starting to walk, but
got weight on it now. Putting weight on it.
They gotta do a little something first, because they gotta find out why it's it's a little complication.
Okay. Are you able to put any weight on it at all? A little bit?
Yeah. I just can't. I still can't do heel toe. Walk.
Okay. All right. Yeah.
But I'm.
But they ain't gotta go back in it though.
No. I hope not.
Oh, good.
Okay. Oh, good. That's what I'm saying. When you said that, I'm saying I hope they don't have to go back in.
Oh no, I hope
so
not.
It's basically more about therapy.
I quit.
Thanks, Eddie.
No, I'm not seriously. I'm telling them. No,
Remember we had this conversation
three times. Come on, this is six.
I know.
It's 6 and 4 years, man. I can't do no more.
Just give me a new foot,
But yeah, Matt says stay out of that store. Yeah, they got me, man.
Yo, Matt, he walked in there.
No, I didn't. I rolled in there with the studio.
Where the computer?
Went in with the scooter, and I was like, yeah, I need you to help me to the car with this stuff.
Oh, man.
The ballerina Herm, tippy
toes.
Got the scooter. No, I got the little scooter. It's kick, push. I'm good. But
you could you can get push assist for that.
Yo, Matt,
throw a motor on there. Bro.
Hey, Big Matt. After he purchased what he purchased, you know how people walk out the store fast. He's like, handicap coming through. Clear the way.
Watch your feet.
I parked right by the front door.
Right, and he's parked right there.
Yeah,
Partner,
you always had the plate. Like
yeah, yeah, you got, yeah.
you had it
I gotta
again.
ask my cardiologist for that placard, man.
Yeah, you
Oh,
know.
they just got to sign the paperwork. They'd be
I
good.
can't use my other placards anymore, so
Nah, right. They count that down.
Yo, Big Mac said put a motor on it, Herm.
that's right, man. That's what I was saying, right,
Oh,
Matt?
did you see that guy, Matt? He's
Hey,
big
Ludo
now, big
Lou.
with TikTok. He's riding around on one of those motorized skateboards, drinking ocean spray cranberry
Oh
juice.
yeah, yeah. He
Man,
brought
he's
back.
viral.
It's
He's been
because
on
of
the
him.
news.
It's because of him. That particular song has started. The sales for that
hit
song
the
have
charts back
climbed.
again. Yeah.
Yes, it's
Yeah.
back in style
And
again.
not only that, cranberry juice sales are up also. Ocean
Yeah.
spray.
So,
I
free
believe it.
advertising. boy.
He was on
Well, guys,
Roseanne and Lori interviewed
He
him
was
this
on the
morning
news
on
the other day.
5.
I saw him yesterday on the news.
Yeah.
Lawrence had brought a story to my attention. Hybrids are in the news again, once again. Record-breaking flight for a quadcopter. It broke the world's record on a flight for a quadcopter of 10 hours and 14 minutes.
Which it's
Broke the
old
previous
record.
record of 8 hours and 10 minutes.
Yeah. And
Right.
before that, it was 4 hours and something. Yeah.
Right. It was
But
a
but
startup
before that
company.
before that 8 hours and 10, that 8 hours and change, the record before that was still 4 hours and 40 minutes.
Well, it was by a startup company, Quantum.
Quartinium.
and-
Quartinium.
Quantinium.
Quantinium. Quantinium.
Quantum-nium.
Quantinium. Quantinium.
Well, you had to listen to
Quantum
the woman from the company pronounce it.
Yeah, right. But it's called
But,
the Hybrix 2.1.
They have this drone, the Hybrix 2.1, and it actually took off. They had their flight took off at 8:20 a.m. in the morning and landed at 6:34 p.m.
Yeah.
Wow.
So it broke the previous record by 20%.
Yeah.
You know. Now,
Right now,
if,
keep in mind, this hybrid is gasoline / battery electric drive that reportedly gives a flight time up to 4 hours per fill charge.
Normally,
Stock,
but this had a
stock, right? Exactly.
this
Tom.
had a pony tank, so this had a tank slung between it from underneath with the extra fuel.
That's still not bad though.
I think it was 4.2 gallons of fuel.
Yes.
Got it 10 plus hours. Yeah.
Listen, that's not bad at all. They say it weighs about 29 pounds and can carry up to 22 pounds of cargo or accessories as well.
Yeah. So it's got a pickup potential of about 80%, right? So, or a little less than that, which is good performance when you think about it.
Yeah. And which means you may lose a little flight time, but if you're flying for 8 to 10 hours, and you can only fly 3, hey, mission accomplished. You got that payload there.
Yeah.
You know, it is.
So this is this is classic, because this is what we talked about this in the previous one, where, remember, military technology and all starts to come down into the consumer, not into consumer, but into the private sector market, and is leveraged. You know,
Take care,
I mean,
show.
while the military is not doing the quadcopter route, of course, they got high endurance drone solutions. But this company really took this to the next level, and really, there's nothing but potential here, because if you, again, we talked about loiter time on space, right? On station. Well, this is the same thing. I mean, if you can keep a drone up in the air for a long period of time, you might have a situation like you might have a neighborhood that has a communications failure in it, and now that everything is IoT or Internet of Things, you know, you need to maintain connectivity today just to keep life going, right? So you could possibly even put something like this, as it evolves, up in the sky for the next 15, 20 hours, but to be a cell tower in the sky.
Did you read some of the reviews?
Work on or maintain some,
at the bottom of this article, with the record flight. There are people that had left there are 7 comments that they posted, and one guy goes, 2-stroke engines are much more polluting than 4-stroke. You can see in the video pumping out toxic clouds of pollution on startup.
So-
Well, FYI,
Okay, so
dude, every combustion engine that starts up kicks out a cloud of smoke.
so what, look, these are nothing more. This is a hybrid solution, right?
Right.
So
right.
with hybrid solutions comes advancement. If you look at the first hybrid vehicles, it was more gas than battery, and that's
slowly
changed over time
transition.
to where you don't have that duration anxiety anymore, where you can go straight battery. But look, the technology is coming out where we're going to be going to hydrogen fuel cells soon.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
And that will completely change the complexion. So if any of you out there are like super geeks or love some of the specs that are out there, so now we have something that flies for 10 hours. I'm just going to read off some specs on something called an MQ9 Reaper. Okay, because it does get me a little bit excited. I don't know about you guys. I just might
What
be
is
weird.
the MQ9 what?
The Reaper.
MQ9
Reaper.
Okay, so it has a wingspan of 65 feet. This is a Predator style drone with the United States Air Force.
Right.
Okay,
Oh,
it has
familiar.
a fuel
Okay.
capacity of 4,000 pounds of fuel. It
Wow.
has a payload capability of 3,800 pounds. 800 pounds of that internal bays, another 3,000 pounds out on wing pylons. Okay, it's got a Honeywell turboprop 900 horsepower engine. Can achieve a maximum speed of 300 miles per hour, but its cruising speed is 194 miles an hour. It's got a range of over 1,200 miles.
You know how much
And
pizza you could
it can
deliver?
remain on station fully loaded at a service at an operational altitude of 25,000 feet for over 14 hours. Now, if it's being used, that is with ordnance. Now, if it's only being used for surveillance, that number can grow to 24 hours.
Right.
So imagine that.
Wow.
An
Never has to
unmanned
land.
aircraft
It
on
never has
station.
to come down.
Okay. When they teach them how to tether fuel off of a C-130, you're right, Lawrence. They'll never have to land. Okay, except for maintenance.
Exactly. Except for maintenance. Okay, something's getting a little hot. We need to bring it in for a checkup.
Well, we see stuff like this thing here with this company here, and
Hey, Lost Girl
drones we're
Hikes,
talking
how are you?
about,
And welcome to Wednesday
and a
nights
lot
with
of the
those
other
guys.
drones of this nature that we've been talking about. I think that they're more so looking towards first responders and trying to get into the local area, or even who knows if they can deliver a pizza one day or a bucket of chicken.
Being able to
bag of
it all comes
groceries.
down to being able to transverse difficult terrain, right? That's where money is. Okay,
it is
delivery and access across difficult terrain, and there's still plenty of that around. Okay, to make a profit off of. So yeah, I think this is great stuff to see, because look at the automotive industry. If it weren't for the Bonneville salt flats, right?
Yeah.
Would you get that group of people out there seeing how far they can push these machines, right?
No, you're
and as they push these machines further, they evolve. They continue to evolve. I want to see people pushing.
I remember when they
envelope.
were first, Tom. I remember when they were first testing supersonic engines.
Yeah,
they would put an engine
absolutely.
on a car with some really rough wheels, and they put it out there on a Salt Lake flat and open it up.
So if you ever get an opportunity, and if you should put this on your bucket list, go to the Bonneville Salt Flats. Okay, it is one of the weirdest places on the planet.
Well, you see motorcycles with rockets on them and all kinds of stuff.
So I rode a motorcycle on the Bonneville Salt Flats. It was the scariest thing I ever did in my life. I drove a motorcycle on the Bonneville Salt Flats, and it was the scariest thing I ever did in my life, because you lose perspective. It's just vast field of whiteness. You don't know whether you're going straight or not. Okay.
Get out of here.
You
Even with all that space.
It's completely discerning. It really is weird, but it's the flattest place you're ever going to be. It's salt. It's salt.
Go to
Okay.
check that out, Lawrence.
It's definitely worth. It's definitely worth a pilgrimage to. And if you like fast stuff, you're always going to see people out there trying to join the 200-mile-an-hour club and all kinds of stuff.
Oh,
okay.
Don't they have a preset Medivac team out there? Because
yeah, it's all set up. It's and of course it's everything's at your own liability. But yeah, there are teams going for world records all the time. There are labs out there working all the time. But yeah, it's definitely put it on your bucket list. This stuff.
How fast you get the bike up to?
Yeah, we won't go.
Hey, Chris O.
But what was your top speed, Tom?
I only hit about 130, bro, and
That's
it's yeah. I started going bald on my lower left nut.
Well,
so
Tom,
I had to stop.
I used to own a Kawasaki Ninja with a turbo.
I had it was a Norton.
And
okay.
And while owning this bike, I had purchased a bike from someone who used to race with it. Now the a standard turbos usually kicks in at about 55 miles per hour and in a higher gear. He had his lowered to the third gear and would kick in at about 45 miles per hour. So if I go hang out with the boys and we're drinking and I'm on my way home and I go to accelerate to get into the lane, every now and then the bike would want to snatch out from under me. Because at 45 miles per hour, the turbo kicks in. And if you don't have
you weren't ready for it. You weren't ready for it. Yeah. Well, I did.
A van hit me head on with that bike. I remember that. Well, hold on. Getting to my point, Tom, you mentioned 130. I remember going down a highway doing 130 miles per hour. And suddenly something in my mind said, what happens if you hit a rock? Or an oil slick?
It's all over, bro. You don't even think past then because you're dribbling.
Well, let's just say after thinking about that, I broke it down to normal speed and said,
So the fastest I've ever traveled in a motor vehicle was 186 miles an hour. That was on a straightaway at a NASCAR certified track.
Okay.
And my top speed on a turn was 129.
Okay.
So I had taken a NASCAR certification course.
I was wondering. I was wondering about that.
Yeah, it was a 5-day course. It's something called midlife crisis, right? You do stupid shit. So I took this course. It was funny because the first day, like 3 people left the course. They didn't want to be bothered because the first day was all classroom. And then the second day, they got us out in modified Tauruses where there was actually a passenger seat. But they wanted you to watch the wall instead because they wanted to wash people out that got nauseous if they turned their head from center line. And it went on from there to the final day. I was drafting maybe a mere 6 inches off of an instructor's bumper at around 160, 170. So, yeah, that was fun and expensive.
Because I did the $155 off the Whitestone, coming off the end of the Whitestone, going towards the park, by Interference Park.
Oh, okay. I know the side on the east side of the park. Flushing, you're talking about. Okay. That was the same area where the guy flew that drone. Remember the drone that crashed during the tennis
felony
tournament?
Speed court?
He was over on that side of the park when he flew and lost control of his drone. And fortunately it fell on a stairway, because had it hit that lady in the head, she would have been hurt. Because there was a lady sitting on the edge of the aisle. You remember it hit the concrete step right next to her. It fell in between people. Now, what were the odds of that? Maybe some stronger force intervening, but had that drone fell on that person, that would have been ugly. That would have definitely been ugly.
The Need for Speed, right? So Bob Casey goes, all you speed demons. Yeah, it's called the Need for Speed.
You know what? Well,
I did Lamborghini Gallardo. I did 140 in a Lamborghini Gallardo. I couldn't wait to drive that car, and I couldn't stand driving that car.
Why?
If that makes any sense.
How How many
Very
gears? Is that like
uncomfortable.
7 gears, something like that?
This was 6 gears.
Okay.
This was a 6
Okay.
gear.
I do
There was
remember hearing
very
they had
little.
6 or
I
7
did
gears.
not. It was also a street legal car. I couldn't see driving this thing on the street. There's no level of comfort in it at all.
Everything's stiff
Not
and
not
tight.
very stiff, very tight, and could get away from you very easily. Okay, if you didn't know how to manage your clutch and your brake, it could definitely
I've
get
seen
out from
videos of
under
guys
you.
drriving off of showroom floors and wrecking before
No,
they
that's
get half a
Porsche.
block.
That's a freaking Porsche Carrera, man. You know, these people get out there and they put on rocket ship. You know, they go from drive mode like, hey, be sane, to
Well,
I'm nothing but a
Well, the
ballistic
torque
rocket.
is much
Well, I tell
different
you,
in those
Porsche
cars.
is a
And
very
that rear end
unforgiving
swings right
car
out
when
from
you
under
make a
them.
mistake.
What happened, Herman?
Yeah.
The Porsche is a very unforgiving car when you make a mistake. There are some cars that
rear end
you
gets
can
away from you.
you can actually recover from. The Porsche is
Hey,
going
Logan.
to leave you crying.
Yeah.
I could believe it. I've seen a few videos of guys take a Lambo out of the showroom floor, cruising real slow off the curb, and then they get to the street light, and of course, anyone in a new car, they wants to see what the first gear could do. I don't think he made it past the second gear, honestly, before he wiped out. Honestly, because first gear in a street car will take you from 0 to about 35, 40. First
Oh,
gear
no,
in a
not in
Lamborghini takes
oh,
you
yeah,
to
no,
about
no.
60,
Yeah,
50 or
shit.
60. It is much
Shit, I could have
dramatic
handed my
difference.
wife. I could have handed my wife the Lambo and only told her it was an automatic. Okay. So.
Well, it's almost that time. We got 19 minutes to go. Great to know.
I'm
International
telling you,
community.
it's
start to
fun when
hear.
you can take your car and dump $10,000 into it and get it to run like that. And
Yeah.
it's no street
Yeah.
legal.
Must be nice, huh?
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
beautiful thing.
Yeah.
I say it all the time. Must be
The
nice.
old U.S. muscle cars.
When they start ripping out all that stuff that came from the factory, and then you realize some of the stuff that's in your car from the factory is rated for a lot more horsepower than what they give in the car.
Yeah. So Sean, it keeps finding one of my favorite shows is homegrown in the UK, Top Gear.
Oh yeah.
I love those guys, and of course, they've gotten themselves in more trouble. Okay, what was it? They were I
The
think
one where they had the car.
the Stig wrecked a 1.2 million pound vehicle.
Oh,
Okay,
they've done all kind of craziness.
Yeah.
And what I thought was funny when they went around with the signs on the car, NASCAR sucks and all of them stuff driving around.
Yeah, driving through Georgia and Alabama.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah.
They got
And
a
then the
tag. The lady
American
was like,
version-
"I'm going to get the boys."
Yeah, the American version has Adam Ferrera, a stand-up comedian, and they're pretty good too. They do some silly stuff, and gotta love that stuff. Gotta love that stuff. And
Most
one of my
girls
new
say she
shows
needs
I'm
to put 'em-
watching a light is Going RV because I'm pining for the open road.
They're going RV, Tom.
I'm watching this series up on I forget what channel.
I'll know you've
It's
totally,
going RV.
I know you've totally crossed over, Tom, when I see you with a Hawaiian shirt and a fedora on.
Oh no.
Nah, that won't happen, dude. The fedora's out. It'd probably be a Tilly. It's gonna be a big sun hat, dude.
The
Okay.
Hawaiian shirt.
All right.
You didn't rule out
Hawaiian
the
shirt. No,
though.
I'm
Okay.
long sleeve professional fishing gear. Summer shirts. That's me, baby. I gotta cover up because me and SPF 110 have a special relationship. Okay.
You said you slather up in it.
Dude, I told you I only come in two shades.
You put it on with the spatula.
No, I only come in lobster red or Minnesota white, dude. Okay, that's the only two shades I come in. Okay, and you know what season those are.
Listen, good night. I'm gonna have a souped up RV.
Well, you know that. That's
Hey,
a given, dude.
Listen,
Yeah, that's a given.
let me know what kind you get, and I'll put it on paper and I'll put it in the computer, and I'll tell you the parts to get. I can do that
Dude,
with
it's an
anything.
easy travel.
There you go,
Getting a-
Tom.
I'm getting a leisure travel van.
What's up,
Okay,
bro?
twin rear bed. It's got a little garage in the back for our e-bikes.
You want it work?
Okay. And then I'm probably going to put a landing pad up on the roof next to my solar panels. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's
So
what's
I can
up.
come out of the little mini hatch inside, put my drone up on the roof and fly from anywhere because
And
nobody
take
will know
off
where
from
that
there,
drone.
right?
What kind
Yeah,
of
nobody will
motor
know
is
where that drone came from until remote ID, of course. But that's a different story. Okay.
Tom, what kind of
Got
motor?
to get those tie-ins back in there. Okay.
Tom,
That's
what
yeah.
kind of motor does this RV have? I can work it up on paper and tell
Well,
you how to
it's either going to be the new Ford
the
V6.
horsepower on it.
Okay, the new Ford V6. I think it's 360 and
Joe Mack from
420 on
Ireland.
the
How
foot
are you?
torque, or it's going to be the Mercedes 3500 Sprinter. So it's either
Oh, with the
I
Mercedes.
think it.
Mercedes.
No, well, I'll tell you why. The E450 with the new V6
Mm-hmm.
turbo in it. That has all-wheel drive,
Mm-hmm.
and it's
Okay.
gas, and it's cheaper to
The
maintain.
Mercedes isn't
And
all
when you
wheel.
go to when you go to the Mercedes, the 3500.
Never mind. Kill it.
First off, it's
Kill it.
10
You can
grand.
make it
It's 10
turbo.
grand more than the Ford. It's not all-wheel drive, and
No,
then
that's
it's
okay.
diesel, so it's going to be more expensive to own
Right.
as far as maintaining it.
Well,
So-
since
and
you
then
said
the
it's
specs-
all, it's not all-wheel drive, you lost me on that sale.
Well, yeah,
right there.
and the specs are about the same. We're talking about 360 horsepower, about 420 foot-pounds of torque. So,
Tom,
you know,
if you knew,
on a
hey,
25-foot
Tom,
motorhome.
if you knew, Tom, how many people I see out here where I live, you know how they
Yeah.
get those trucks, and trucks usually come all-wheel drive, but they have that
Yeah.
option. It's not all-wheel drive.
Yeah.
Well, if you know how many all-wheel drive trucks I see get stuck out here in the sand all the time.
Oh, yeah, all the time. Because
All
they
the
think they're
time.
in a truck, they can get through anything.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yep.
they
yep.
do make a Sprinter, Broxnick. They do make a Sprinter in a 4x4. I know that,
Mhm.
but the cost and plus your RV manufacturer has to be willing to mount it. I mean, you know, so it's not always available in every type of product line you're looking for, and the price tag on them is significant over the Ford, and Ford engine, that's freaking Godzilla. That's a V6 turbo. It's good on gas, by the way. So it's a good 14 to 18 miles a gallon. And when you're talking about a motorhome, that's huge numbers.
Yeah.
You know, I tried to talk the wife into a Class A, Rockstar bus, but yeah, that wasn't happening.
Any
You
of
know.
these have reserve tanks, so they don't do that anymore.
No, well, you
that
don't
would've
really
been
need
nice
to
too,
do that.
Tom.
What
You don't-
happened,
Well,
Tom?
see, the problem with look, I could go cheap and I could go a travel trailer or a fifth wheel, but you're really not going cheap because you still have to have a pickup truck. But the
Yeah.
party doesn't start until you get to your destination.
Right.
With the actual motorhome, like with a Class C motorhome, the second I turn the ignition, the party starts, because if the wife wants to get up and use the bathroom, if she
Yeah.
wants to go up and make some sandwiches, what's
It's- yeah,
legal and what's not,
exactly.
that's a different story. But
Exactly.
if she
Right,
wants to
right.
lay out on the couch and nap, and
She can.
plus now we're talking about a 25-foot vehicle that I can now camp in any national park, any state park, and also she can drive it.
Right, but how much
Okay.
was the Rockstar tour bus though?
Oh, the Rockstar, well, you'd be surprised, right? So I'm looking at the Class C's there, about $1.50, so they ain't cheap, okay? But I could get a Class A for around the same price. Now, the problem is that would be about anywhere from a 32 to a 34 footer. And in a Class C, like a Sprinter van, I could still use that I'm not saying I would, but I could use that as a daily driver, meaning when you get to your campsite, if you want to go to the store, you can still take this
Take it.
Right.
RV
right.
and go to
right,
the
right,
store. With
right.
the Class A, you got to tow another vehicle. And not every vehicle, everybody thinks, oh, I can tow anything behind my RV. No,
Yeah, it's
first
not
off, the
easy.
vehicle has to be flat towable. Otherwise, you got to put it on a trailer. Okay.
Right.
And not all RVs can handle the weight of a trailer and a car. So all that's got to be matched. And you can't, over 30 feet, you're not going to camp in a national park.
Mhm.
Okay. So we looked at the Class Cs, and the Class Cs, I mean, you know, I'm looking to live out in Vegas full
Bob
time.
Casey said, "Break out the money like a rock star for those rock star buses."
Yeah. This rock star is still going to take a note on this. Okay. So please. Okay. Yeah. Somebody's always going to own something else with me. Okay. On this one.
That's true.
And the other thing is, look, if the wife wants to drive a little, there's no reason she shouldn't be able to. Now, when you talk about a 32-foot Class A and you put a 16 to 18-foot vehicle on the back of it,
Right.
you know, you've got to tractor trailer. Okay.
Yeah.
So, you know,
Talking
not
about
my idea of a nice leisurely drive down the highway.
Yeah. Okay. Well, it sounds like you have a
I remember
plan. You
when I
got
had
the
the
scooters.
computer the other way.
And the RV, like you said, RV is like you said. Once you turn the key,
You take
the
your hotel
party-
room with you, man.
Mm-hmm.
That's the thing.
Uncle has one.
right?
I don't know
And
if
the
it's
fact
This country,
that you
this
could
country
pull
is
over somewhere
so huge.
and hunker
Yeah.
down.
Yeah.
You
Yeah,
know.
just think about it. Yeah, look, what we're looking to do is we'll probably RV. We're not going to be full timers. We're going to go out for a month or two during the summer to chase 75 degrees because we're living in Vegas. Okay, one place you shouldn't be in July and August is Vegas. So we plan on hunting for 75 degrees going up north. But this, I can take my drones. I can take my toys, my cameras. Right. We got our bikes in the back. And what's pretty good
Big
is
Matt
you
said,
turn
"Just get
around
the
and
tricked out tour bus and stop."
I wish, dude, I wish. But Matt, DM me, man. I might need a driver full time. Okay.
bus.
Oh, my camera fell over.
No, I mean, and the technology they put on these things now, you know, these RVs are all tricked out now too with Internet of Things. You can operate everything off of a phone. You can put out your awning and your lights and, you know, switch over to your generator. So, you know, there's, and now they have in-motion satellite TV and internet.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So
On the spot, satellite, no matter where you are.
yeah, you guys are going to help me become a YouTube influencer. So this way I don't have a care in the world.
Listen, Tom, we'll show you
I
how
can
to
just
go.
start.
We'll show you how to go live.
Poor
You already know how
There
to
you
set
go.
up the camera angles, the live camera feeds. We'll show you how to go live and everything.
You know, it's funny. It's funny you say that because you know, we went out on the bikes, right? So I put the 360 camera on. I put a GoPro on it. I was going to put another Session 5 on it, and then when I get home, I realized, who do you think's sitting down and reviewing all that freaking video? It's me. Okay,
Yeah.
so
I saw the video you put out, Tom.
Yeah.
that was
It
off the
came out good.
360 camera.
Yeah, I know.
That little thing's a blast. Okay,
Nice video.
that little camera's fun.
I was watching the whole thing, sitting there watching Tom just going. He's going. He's going. I'm like, yo, he's taking me on this whole journey with him.
Yeah. Yeah.
Through the-
Right across the bridge, just the bridge section I took you. I didn't take you on the whole 18. What was it? It was 38 total miles we did that day. Okay. We did 38 miles. Here's the problem though. The last 5 miles I was pedaling all myself. Okay. Because as the wife said, I had to F around a lot. Okay. Plus it's a weight issue. I got about 60 pounds on hers. So she still had 2 bars of power on hers. It was funny because at some point after we crossed back over the bridge and we were headed back to the car, which was about a 5.5 mile ride, I said to her, sweetie, I'm on pedal assist 0, and she didn't know what that meant. And then about 5 minutes in, she starts asking me, hey, what about this? What about that? What about this? I had to come back to her on the intercom and go, I can't answer your questions. I'm trying to breathe. Okay. And I'm checking the Apple Watch and going, okay, heart rate, don't go above this number.
Right.
Okay?
Please
You know?
don't go higher than 200.
But
Please
you know
don't
what
go
I was
higher.
doing? Along the route, along the 38 miles, I had to see, hey, what's pedal assist 5 feel like? Oh, this is a class 2 bike. It can only go up to 20 miles an hour on the throttle. But if you're pumping like a wild man on a pedal assist 5, you can get it up to about 30 miles an hour. And of course, I had to try that a few times. So I started getting battery anxiety I would say at about the 25-mile mark, because the wife is going, oh, I have almost 4 bars left.
Of
And I
course
have
it does.
my second bar is flashing at that point. Okay.
Oh,
So
wow. Really?
yeah. Yeah. So I had a good 10 miles worth of battery anxiety, and then it happened. So, you know, but
See.
but
Now,
I could definitely properly managed. I could definitely get 45 miles out of this battery, maybe even 50. Okay. So to me, that's amazing what this technology can do now.
well, the fact that you got to go that far and had to
Yeah.
start worrying, it's just not like something you plug in for overnight for
No.
12 hours and then you get up and you only get an hour out of it.
Yeah.
Like
No. This
the
was
old tech. When my daughter had a scooter. She had one of the first scooters, and
yeah.
you could plug this thing at night, and by morning it would be charged. But she was only going to ride. It was a little children's scooter, but she was only going to ride around on that thing for like a few hours
Yeah.
because of
Yeah.
the battery tech, all of that stuff has changed now.
Yeah. What's
Now they
really
have
nice is
scooters with batteries that are in the tube of the scooter. The
yeah.
batteries in the
Well,
tube.
in the
Yes,
frame. Yeah.
yes,
Because
exactly.
look, there are hub motors,
Hey,
there
Michael
are
Blake.
crank motors. I've gone. I went riding with Eddie. We did the Brooklyn waterfront with his son and my wife, and that was a great time. You know what's really nice is I got the bike bag on the back, so I can throw the drone in there. I got my Nikon Z6 in my bike bag. Okay.
Okay.
And I got a combination of little action cameras. So, but the funny thing is, we were out for about 4 hours. Yeah, I'm home sitting for the next 8 hours going through all that footage. So that's, there's always overhead somewhere, right? There's always overhead.
So how
Yeah. Well, that's the give and take of it, Tom.
That's the worst.
The further you can go, the more you can record.
Yeah.
But it's more you can look. You have to look through when you get home.
Well, Herman, that 360 camera, what's really nice about it is you throw that little sucker up, you don't worry about it, you just ride. And then you come home and you pick out the camera angles you want off of it. Okay.
What's the battery life on that camera?
I tell you, I have two batteries. I think we were out for, it never went dead on me. I'll put it that way. We were out for about 4 hours. So I say I probably got almost 2 hours of footage just off the 360 camera.
Okay.
Okay.
All right.
Start and stop here and there. Like the quick run, Herman, I did that run just straight through across the bridge.
right?
But when we came back, so you saw the bridge wasn't too crowded when we went across. It was nice. But when we came back, it was probably around 1 o'clock in the afternoon when we were crossing the bridge on our way back. Boy, was it packed. It was packed. Okay. So, but a beautiful trails. And they're doing this all over the country, by the way. They're taking these old railway sidings and they're turning them into these hiking trails and multi-use trails. And it's really gorgeous. We're going to go up Saturday to Dutchess County, all the way by the Connecticut border. There's the Harlem River Rail Trail. So we're going to go from Wasiak all the way up to Milton, through Armenia, and that whole swath of land over there. It's just beautiful rolling countryside. Definitely getting the drone up. And I'm hoping there's enough clearing above me that I can play around with the Mavic Air 2 active track and the spotlight modes. I'm really looking forward to playing with that.
Okay. Looking forward to seeing that video.
Mm-hmm.
That other one was pretty nice.
Thank you, Mr. Bob Casey, and thank you for the comment on the video as well.
And the color.
I am a new supporter
Herman?
to your channel, sir.
The colors were great. I mean,
yeah.
it's New York State, man. If anybody who's not from New York State, if you ever want to come here, make sure it's the fall. Okay.
Yeah, the
it's
trees
just
look
lit up.
like a box of Fruity Pebbles right now.
Yeah, it's lit
Serious.
up. It's lit up.
Yes. I've seen a lot of
Okay.
photos from Deneen and Stevie Bronx that have
Eddie
gone up
threw
there.
up some nice ones. Yeah.
Yeah,
You
Eddie as
know,
well.
Stevie,
They were all up there.
Stevie. Yeah, Stevie always throws up some nice. Jerome Strauss. So Jerome Strauss throws out some great stuff.
Well, it's about that time, guys.
Yep, that's it.
About that time to get out of here. We need to get a break.
I know.
We get our drop going from our only sponsor that we have on this show. How they say it, Wednesday night with those guys is sponsored by
Those
Those
guys.
guys.
We appreciate you all. We appreciate the support. Don't forget to check out Sunday nights with those guys on my channel at 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Paul Murray Show on Monday nights at 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And Canadian Drone Hub, who's on just every damn morning at 7 a.m.
And if
Too early for
and
me,
please, if you don't already subscribe to Geeks Vana, head over there. Make sure you hit that subscribe button. Sean puts out some great stuff.
Yes, he does. Yes, he
always worth the thumbs up on Sean's stuff. So make sure you get over there, okay, and support him.
Hey guys,
Yes, we appreciate you all.
And everyone in the chat, I'd like to thank you for being here, because without you, none of this would be possible. Thank you, everyone. And I'll see you next time on Phantom Flight 101 with those guys.
Later.
Take care. Stay safe, everyone.
Stay safe.
Good night.
And vote.
That too. Yeah. Hell yeah.